Well, George, I haven't spoken for a while. I'd imagine a bit happier with getting some good game time and feeling like you're in a bit of a flow at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. I've had to be quite patient to get a chance in the team. But yeah, it's good to be back in there and doing well.
And it's never an easy thing when you're not involved. When the team's doing well, you can kind of maybe cope with it, but it's not something any professional footballer ever wants to go through, is it?
No, I know. Yeah, you don't really want to be sitting on the sidelines. So yeah, like I said, I've sort of had to be patient and sort of just wait for that opportunity, and thankfully it's come now.
And how happy have you been with the performances over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think I've done pretty well when I've played. And I think the results have been fairly positive as well. Um, so yeah, I'm quite happy with how I've played. Um, of course, I'm still learning, but I believe I've played pretty well.
One of the things that stood out for me was certainly the last few games you've been really positive going forward. It's a part of your game that sometimes you looked a little bit nervous to cross the halfway line, but that hasn't been the case certainly the last three or four.
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of had to adapt playing in different positions. I think naturally I am a fullback, so playing wing back is a little bit different. But yeah, I'm like I say, I'm trying to learn, um, trying to be a bit more positive in the final third, be a little bit more creative. Um, but yeah, last two games, I feel like I've created some good opportunities for the team. Um, so yeah, just got to keep building on that really.
Because football is a simple game, but there's a big difference between playing right-sided in a three of a centre back and wing back, isn't it? It's almost one's a defender and one you're almost just an attacker now, aren't you?
Well, that's it. It's totally different. So like this season, I've played right centre half and wing back. It's like a totally different position, and then full back's a little bit different as well. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed playing in both positions, so I'm happy to play like wherever the team needs me really.
And having been at the club now for the best part of a year and a half, does it feel, is there a level of comfort there that you feel now perhaps that just takes that little bit of time to bed in?
Yeah, I think so. It always takes a little while to probably adapt to the team and whatnot. Um, but no, I'm happy with where I'm at. I feel like I've improved a lot since I first signed here, and I feel like I'm only getting better as a player as well. Um, so yeah, I'm happy.
And that is one of the keys. I think it's something that this club hasn't always done, but the last few years, you can see players developing there in front of you and getting better. And at your age in particular, you've got to be doing that, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's no better place to develop as a player as to be here right now with the training ground and the coaching staff and like the support we've got around me. So yeah, I'm just trying to get better as a player and contribute on the pitch.
And does that leave you? Does that make you excited about what the future holds? It's like this is how well you've done until now, and there's a lot more to come.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's all I can do is just focus on getting better as a player. And like I said, there's no better place to be really. I'm really settled here now in Bristol and enjoying my football. So I've just got to try and keep myself in the team. Of course, it's better when I'm playing. So just got to keep myself in the team and see what happens.
And certainly the last two games, the two away performances, lots of real positives to take from that. But the points you get there, and I know it's the cup this weekend, but you've now got to build on that at home. 3 games at home, you've really got to take it to the next level and get those wins that have been close but haven't been there recently.
Yeah, that's all we need to do. It's like trying to convert those points into 3 points. I think the last two league games we've probably done enough to win both games. Um, just falling short, making like a few chances here and there that we should have put away. But I feel like the performances have been really good. Um, I think we look a bit more solid at the back. There's a bit more resilience in the team. Um, so yeah, we just need to build on that. Hopefully, get a win. It would be nice if we win this weekend, but then start building a little bit of momentum, and then take that into the league.
And FA Cup obviously is a bit different. What are your sort of FA Cup memories, either playing or watching?
Um, well, yeah, I've probably not played in the FA Cup too many times, but of course it's a great tournament. There's a lot of excitement around it. Um, I've been to watch Man United in the FA Cup a few times, which is enjoyable. Um, So yeah, it's a great competition. So it'd be really good if we could put a good cup run together um, and go far in the FA Cup, hopefully.
Would that be the dream then? Obviously, you've got to win the first match against Swansea, but a trip to Old Trafford will get them down here.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect. But we'll see.
Super,
thank you.
Hi George, just want to ask about your time at Manchester United really in the academy. Well, how old were you when you joined? Were you about 15, was it?
I joined when I was 8.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago now.
Yeah, research. Well, that must have been a really positive experience for you as a whole to be a part of that culture and that sort of situation at Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, I love my time at Man United. I think it's probably one of the best academies in the world in terms of like development and experiences. So yeah, joining there at 8 and all the way up till 21, I think. So I've gained a lot of experience, a lot of learning. Yeah, really enjoyable and good memories.
When you're surrounded by those massive players and characters and that, does that almost give you more motivation to succeed in the game when you're around that environment constantly?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's really enjoyable being there and like in the environment and seeing like at first it's a bit like surprising seeing all the first team players like in and around him, like you're a bit starstruck a little bit. But yeah, as you grow older, you look up to them, and you obviously the dream was to get in the first team there. But you know, it doesn't happen in football very often to get in Man United's first team. So I seeked an opportunity to go out on loan and get some games under my belt, which was very important.
Yeah, how big a learning curve was that for you going from Manchester United and then taking that loan spell at Morecambe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was so important. I just didn't want to sit in the under-23s and just play under-23s games. I sort of realised I might not get another contract at Man United, so it's about going out there and like showing what I can do really, getting some games under my belt, gaining that experience, and that definitely helped me.
When you told that you were going to be released by Manchester United, I assume for a lot of young players it's kind of a time of difficulty and uncertainty really in the careers. Did you have options? How did you deal with it, and did you have options at that time when you were told the news?
I didn't have many options, I'll be honest. But thankfully, I think because I played 30 odd games for Morecambe, I think that really helped me. Of course, there was a lot of uncertainty. I think I dealt with it quite well. I kind of saw it coming, so you can kind of half expect it. So yeah, I just sort of had to be patient, wait for something to come up, and of course I ended up signing for Carlisle. But that was kind of one of the first offers that I had really, and I knew I'd play. The manager wanted me, so I think I just had to go for it and then start gaining more experience in League Two.
When you signed for Carlisle, did you almost have to kind of take a step back and almost have to reset kind of your career? You know, were you at that stage?
A little bit of a reset. I kind of knew I had to go out there and prove myself again. But I didn't put too much pressure on myself. I was still in professional football and a good team at the time, and they were doing well. So yeah, no, I enjoyed my time there.
I think for any player who makes a step at one league is obviously it comes with challenges for you. You made two league step up.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest difference that you've kind of noticed from that transition?
It's probably just the intensity of the games. There's obviously so many games in the Championship, and the level is so high. Like you're playing against top players. When I first joined, I feel like it was more like the concentration in games, having to like constantly be switched on, like the wingers making certain movements, and you just got to be switched on to everything around you. Yeah, so I think my first few games it sort of took me by surprise a little bit. I feel like now I've been able to adapt to that well, and and I certainly feel a lot more confident playing at this level.
How have you kind of assessed your time at Bristol City? So as I said, it's been a year and a half now, just I guess on the pitch and just kind of moving down south and enjoying Bristol life.
I'm enjoying it, yeah. Last year I lived on my own, this year my girlfriend lives with me now. So this season I feel a lot more settled. It's a great city. Last year was tough for me with 2 injuries, 2 hamstring injuries, which was hard to deal with at the time. Sort of when I got back fit again, my fitness probably wasn't as it was before my injuries. So yeah, my first season was very up and down. I've got a little bit more stability this year. So yeah, I'm happy with how it's going. I've had to be patient for a chance, but I'm just trying to do my best when I play.
Those injuries, you said it was a bit of a difficult time. Did ever a senior pro come and give you a bit of an arm around the shoulder and kind of encourage you through that period?
Yeah, there's a few lads that helped me along the way. There's a few lads that did hamstrings injuries last year as well, so you can kind of, like people like Andy King, he struggled with it last year, and Joe Williams. So those 2 helped me out a little bit in terms of like the support. And yeah, all the physios were very good to me with my rehab, trying to get it right the second time.
Thanks very much, George.
Hey George, obviously it was this time last year, obviously you suffered your injury against QPR and then you were out for such a long period. Some players, when they're injured, they just focus on recovery and fitness, and then others will analyse their game, look at others. Did you do anything during that period where you were injured that has now helped you to where you are today?
Yeah, there was Alex Ball. We sat down and I think we went through a few of my clips at some point from our previous games that we played. So a lot of it was sort of about playing forwards and like opening my body position. So yeah, there's a few things that we looked at which have helped improve me as a player, I think. Yeah.
And obviously in the summer the Bristol City signed Ken Wilson, similar position to you. Did you ever think your place in the club could be under threat, or did you relish the opportunity because it would be a challenge that you'd be both competing perhaps for that same spot?
Yeah, I think I kind of just accepted the challenge more than anything. I didn't ever feel like my position was under threat. I kind of realised maybe I might not play to start with, but my aim for this year was to keep myself in contention, and yeah, just improve on the training ground and be ready for my chance. If I kept myself fit, I knew I'd play, and it's just about taking that chance. So Kane coming in, I think it's always healthy to have competition. So yeah, it's unfortunate that he's injured at the minute, but it gives me an opportunity.
And obviously your first walk into the team this season was at right-sided centre-back. What is the difference between those positions? Did you put your hand up and say you'd be happy to play right-sided centre-back? Did Nigel Pearson think that you could play in that position, or how did that come about?
Well, first of all, I played there against Wickham in the Carabao Cup. I had quite a strong performance, I'd say. So yeah, I think it's somewhere like the coaching staff have recognised that I can play there. I don't think I struggle aerially or with the physical demands. I think in some ways it suits me, and when I've played there, I feel like the team looks quite dynamic. There's been a few games where me and Pringy have played left and right-sided centre half, and we've played well. So yeah, no, it's a good position. I'm enjoying it.
Because obviously a right-sided centre-back, perhaps you'd assume that position's more for solidity, for defensive structure, but both yourself and Pringy seem to be attack-minded players, and I think that's what fans like in you, that you like to do the defensive side of things, but also you want to get forward, and sometimes you get an assist also.
Well, that's it, yeah. I think first and foremost I'm a defender more than anything, so I take pride in my defending. I think that's sort of my role within the team. And I think even now playing at wing back the last few games, we do look a little bit more solid. So yeah, that's the main thing I try and focus on. And then of course when I'm playing wing back, it's about trying to be creative as well. So yeah, no, it's been good for me this season playing in both positions. You know, it's more strings to my bow.